With all this talk of the war in the Middle East and all that kind of stuff, there's a little bit of a spike in prepper stuff, and there's also been some commentary on another one of my videos about why grocery store food isn't necessarily the best thing for long-term food storage, and a lot of reasons for that. Somebody was kind of belittling me a little bit in that video, so I deleted their bullshit because the reality is I have been in this game for a little while, and I'm not some punk know-nothing who only learned it from watching Doomsday Preppers. Matter of fact, I was a consultant for another one of the survivalist-related TV shows. So I do want to go into something about what, on a last-minute prep thing or a last-minute panic buy thing, hey, you got money in your bank account, you got room in a credit card, maybe you got some cash. You might be looking at a situation where the value of money would be changing very quickly. And you're thinking, okay, I want to turn that into something useful. What do? Well, you do some last-minute buying. And in that environment, sure, rushing to the grocery store, picking up some fresh food. The fresh, healthy food is always going to be better than that long-term storage stuff. But there is another option, and it may be something other people aren't hitting the stores as hard for at the last minute as smart people will be doing. And that's like a lot of this bodybuilder stuff, okay? You guys might have noticed I'm a little bit overweight in some of my videos, but I'm not really ashamed of it either. When I was active duty military, I weighed only about 165, 175 pounds. I was basically a skinny guy. And I took something that was equivalent to this, except I was getting it at GNC and the Joe Weider weight gain stuff, and it works. Okay, this works. You want to keep your bulk up and not waste away to nothing. Some people have a problem keeping weight on, not keeping it off, okay? In my earlier life, I had a problem keeping it on. So I took a lot of this stuff and it worked. This stuff is where you get a lot of protein involved, you get a lot of vitamins involved, there's a whole lot of food in here. What it's designed for is to give a bodybuilder or athlete additional meals without having a big sit-down meal and not having their digestive tract have to do all of the extra work of processing all of the extra roughage and other stuff that's involved with having full meals. So it's a milkshake thing. It's relatively easy to digest. This particular one, kind of a bulky thing, and it says there's only 8 servings in here. That's because this one's engineered to be mixed with water, not milk. Okay, I'll say that again. It's made to be mixed with water, not milk. You can also mix this with smoothie type stuff. If you're doing it off-grid, you're just sitting there shaking your bottle or using a hand tool to stir the stuff into, it might be a little lumpy, that's all. If you got an off-grid blender, then you're in good shape, okay? So when we look at something like this, it's about $34.99. If you're paying retail for all your stuff, that usually works out to about half the price of a case of MREs. If you look at storage space, obviously this is a pretty well-stocked store in a major metropolitan area. Dick's Sporting Goods, Portland, Oregon. They don't have a whole lot on the shelf, so don't expect to find a whole lot at any given time. But if you were to grab 4 of these, that's a lot of meal supplement for a while. Okay, you can go a couple of weeks on that. Doesn't take up a whole lot of space. Okay, a lot of vitamins, a lot of everything you could need in there, a lot of calories and all that kind of a thing. They're looking at 1250 calories for one big, super shake type thing. For a big person, yeah, you're going to want this in addition to your meals. For smaller people, that fully replaces one big meal. Okay, one big McDonald's meal is, about 800 calories, I think, something like that. So. And then we would assume this is relatively healthy stuff. So, if you're looking at a last-minute panic purchase, you got a couple $100, you're like, okay, well, I can't spend money when I'm out in the middle of the wilderness when I've bugged out. Maybe you've got vehicle cargo capacity issues, you want to take some things at the last minute. Grab some of this stuff, okay? A lot of it does about the same thing. The mass stuff is going to be, the most bulk food. We got some of this stuff that's going to start concentrating some of your other chemicals and substances in there. Depends on what you want to accomplish. But this is basically food supplement. Okay, this is for people who figured out that 3 meals a day isn't enough because of their workout regimen. When I was into bodybuilding much more heavily, I needed additional meals every day. And I could go into some long stories about how I messed up my digestive tract once, had to go to the hospital because I was eating too much, trying too hard to gain weight. And after that, I went back to using this stuff. And it worked, you know. Now I have issues with getting the weight down. But yeah, if you got a last minute thing, you want to grab something that's a lot of food value for not a lot of cargo space, this is the way to go. Now, here's the danger. And this is only for the people who have paid attention to the end of the video. Why was I talking for 5 minutes about this being a last minute purchase and not a long-term food storage purchase? Okay, here's the problem. You've got, right now, it is the end of August 2013. This stuff only goes about a year, okay? 10 to 2014. Now, a lot of people talk about using stuff past its sell-by date. I don't want to fuck around with that, okay? My long-term food storage, I buy that because I want it to be a long-term investment. Now, this one right here is going to go to 05 of 15, so that's not terrible. Okay, that's not all that bad. We got about 2 years on that. A little less than 2 years. It's hard to say how long it's been on the shelf. Maybe if I were to come in a store, catch them right when a shipment came in, you know, that's one of the things. But you're 2 years max on storage life on this stuff. So, you know, it's something you buy before the mission, something you buy before what you think might take a little while. Good to go. But it's not something where you want to store cases and cases of it for 10 years. That's not going to work. And that's why earlier in the video I talked about this being kind of a last minute purchase, but it can be a really smart thing because we're talking about not a lot of cargo space for a lot of food value.